Okay, I might be wrong, but I think you know that at least one of the 10 commandments just doesn't work for this day and age. Times are modern, times need to change, and rules need to change along with them. So which commandment am I talking about? Well, it's the commandment to keep the Sabbath holy. And before you start analyzing the Old Testament times and saying, well, they're just as busy back then as we are right now, that they didn't have modern things like cars and plumbing and technology that says that it took them a lot longer to get things done, just pause and chill and take a break and look at our lives right now. We have computers and TVs and cell phones and technology. We are busy being connected with people 24/7. Our friends from when we were young, our friends that we met online and have never seen, our friends who are keeping busy with busy lives, and we have to keep up to them or we'll be left out. And we see so much need around us because of our increased connectivity. And that's good, right? Because we find out where we can help other people. But we're also really busy with our clubs, our sports, our entertainment. We are busy working, and we are busy working overtime. And, I have to keep an eye on my watch at all times because we have to know what we're doing every minute of every day. You know, the other day, time got away from us and we ate supper really late in our household. And certain people in our household get really grumpy when we eat late. So we really have to watch our time. And you know, it's like we have to keep so on time for things. It's like the rabbit from Alice in Wonderland saying, I'm late for a very important date. We have so many things that are so very important in this day and age. So no, I do not think that we have time to keep the Sabbath day holy. The Sabbath, that means a church day, right? Okay, well, keep the Sabbath day, go to church, and you've got it covered, and you're all good. So no problem, right? Except that it said the Sabbath day. What are you supposed to do on the Sabbath day? Pretend like you're going to church all day? That would be so boring. I don't have time for this sort of thing. My day's full enough. Thank you very much. Wait just a sec. God took a Sabbath, right? God, created the heavens and earth and humans and animals and all that kind of thing, and then God took a break. Why in the world would God need a break? And Jesus, on the Sabbath day, remember, he healed someone on the Sabbath day. And the Pharisees said, hey, you're not supposed to heal anyone on the Sabbath. That's doing work, and we're not allowed to do work on the Sabbath. We have to keep it holy. And Jesus pointed out that you're allowed, according to Jewish law, to, if a lamb falls down into a pit, that you're allowed to pick it out and help it. So humans are a lot more valuable than animals, and so we're allowed to help humans on the Sabbath to heal them. Because that's doing God's work of love, and that's really, really important. So, yeah, I can see both sides. I guess the Sabbath isn't just about sitting around and being holy all day then. I think that the Sabbath is about relationship and rest. By all means, if you have the opportunity to attend a worship service, do it. It sure helps with our relationships with God and with one another, but it won't do you one bit of good to attend a worship service if you don't turn your heart and your mind to God and to other people. I mean, think about it. We can, for all kinds of reasons, read our Bible or do our devotions or go to Sunday services, but if you are so stuck on your own opinion and your own self that you're not willing to listen to anyone else, well, you might not get a lot out of Sunday worship or keeping the day holy. Or if you have the attitude, if you're so awesome that other people are lucky just to be in your presence, well, keeping the Sabbath day holy might be not very fruitful for you. The Sabbath is resting. It's letting go of our important tasks for a time. It's letting go of our expectations for ourselves. It's not looking at our long to-do lists. It's not forcing ourselves to do the right thing at the right time all day long. It's resting, because our bodies just aren't created with Energizer batteries. Remember the Energizer bunny that it just kept going and going and going? Well, eventually those batteries drained, and our batteries ourselves, our bodies do drain as well if we just keep going and going and going, and then we end up tired, worn out, flaked on the couch, thinking that it's a lot of effort to even move our hand to switch channels on the remote, because we're completely done emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Now, I note that the commandment to keep the Sabbath day holy also extended to slaves in biblical times. You might have something to learn from this. No, don't go away. Listen on. If you can't find one day a week to rest, you might very well be a slave. You could be a slave to work, for instance, whether it's your work at a job outside of the home, or whether it's your work at home, or whatever it is. That's called a workaholic. Maybe you feel important when you work, or maybe you like lots and lots of money or things. You could be a slave to your cell phone. You know, every time it makes a little noise, you just have to look at it, and you never get time away from the phone, because it's always within, arm's reach, because it's so very important. You could be a slave to what you think you ought to do and how you ought to do it. You get the idea. Don't be a slave. Take a break, a full day a week, or maybe even 2 half days a week, so that you can realize that you're worth being you just because of who you are. God made you, and God takes time to be with you. You're awesome. And if you are so busy being a slave to your timetable or whatever, you start to forget yourself. You get lost under piles of stuff, and you forget who you are. Who are you? You are a much loved child of God. Don't forget it, because life becomes crappy when you drift away from God. And life also becomes crappy if you drift away from your supportive people in your life. Maybe it's your family, maybe it's your friends, or a combination of both. Time spent relaxing, resting, enjoying time with family and our friends is, crucial to our well-being. I mean, remember the last time that you had a really good time with others? How did you feel? Energized? Relaxed? Supported? Did you go away into the rest of the week feeling like you could tackle those jobs head on? See, you just gotta take time to relax with your family and or friends. And Sabbath is just the day for you. Okay, I do admit that you gotta be organized sometimes. Plan ahead a little bit, maybe, the gathering, the occasion, whatever. Do your errands and running around before and after the Sabbath so that you're just ready to enjoy the day. Perhaps even decide to put down your technology, even if just for a few hours of that Sabbath day. Maybe you decide you need a little bit of time to yourself on the Sabbath. Think about what you need so that you don't wind up the Sabbath by saying, I wish I could have done what I really needed to do, which might have been writing in your diary or listening to a CD you enjoy or working in the garden. But if you didn't take the time to make those things a priority, even taking an hour out of that Sabbath for yourself, when the day is done, you end up not energized, and you walk into the week more draggy than energized, and the week just doesn't go as well. Some people like doing things for others on the Sabbath, like Jesus when he helped others by healing on the Sabbath. Your neighbor is out, and so you take the time, without looking at your watch, to just talk with the neighbor and just enjoy being with them. Or maybe you take a relaxing time and you love making chocolate chip cookies, and so you make a batch and then you drop it off to a neighbor who you know would just love those cookies, and then you both feel really good about life, and you go into the rest of life feeling a lot better. You know what a good prayer is for the beginning of any day that you call Sabbath? Get your pen and paper out and write it down, or commit it to memory right away. And here's a good prayer for the beginning of the Sabbath. God, help me to be energized today, whatever the day brings. I need strength and energy for the week that's coming. Amen. The thing is, when we take time just to be with God, with our neighbors, with our friends, our loved ones, ourselves, when we take that time once a week, then we go into the rest of the week more energized. When we take the time to just realize that we are God's much-loved children, we go out into the rest of the week much more energized. We tend to be calmer and happier and full of energy in body, mind, and spirit. And the better we're able to receive God's love because we've just spent time with God, the better that we're able to pass on God's love to our neighbors, to our loved ones, to the world. So I dare say that taking Sabbath rest is crucial for the well-being of the world. Do you take a Sabbath rest? If not, I challenge you to think about or plan your next Sabbath right after this service. Let's pray. God, help us to take the time we need to rest and relax and foster our important relationships, our relationships with you and with the supportive people we have in our lives, so that we are able to reset, to know what's most important in our lives, and to never forget that we are your much-loved children. When we know our wonderful place as your children, we are able to do your loving work in the world. Thanks for the gift of the Sabbath, God. Amen.